Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm very grateful that each one of you came this afternoon. I have every intention to help you in the few minutes that we have together to help you to become a top performer. First of all, I have good news to share with you. These are times, the greatest times in the history of mankind. In the next couple of years, more people are going to earn more money than in the last century. And that I'm going to assume that each one of you want to be one of those people that has earned lots of money in the next couple of years. Is that correct? Okay. In fact, I was thinking, I just came back from Venice last night, and as I was flying back, I was thinking about each of you and thinking about what would you like to do? And I thought, you know, here's a great, and it just had a good ring to it. Would you like to double your income in 2013, next year? Does that sound like, yeah, does that sound like something you'd like to do? Yeah. Yeah, hey. You bet. And so then I was thinking, well, I have this information that I could share with you in this, again, brief time together that can help you in order to do just that, double your income in 2013, help you to increase your sales, increase your business. Some of you I talked to earlier, and how you're looking to, wanting to expand your business. And so how do you do that? And I have a way today that's going to help you to do that. My intention today is to put you on a path to more success than you've ever had, and to lead your life with less stress. In fact, come close. And let me share with you a secret. The secret is that today's topic is about the 5 steps that are going to take you to unlimited success and a stress-free life. Does that sound good? Sound like you'd be interested in it? Do you know that each one of you are unbelievable creators? You can create anything that you desire in your life. It's only our own resistant thoughts that have prevented us from doing that. It's also to have the knowledge. If we can have more knowledge about certain key points that we're going to discuss today, that it's going to take you to the next level that you've always dreamed of. That we each have a hidden genius within us. And that today is the first step that I want you to take in order to tap that hidden genius and to open it up to that within you, that inner greatness, that inner winner that each of you have. I say with all my heart to you that you each can have everything that you desire. It's just a matter of what is that path. So I'm going to help you with that today. I've helped thousands of people go to this path. And in fact, today is the first day where I'm launching my processes to more people. Normally, I had worked with just some individuals, large companies, whatever. And today, I'm going to be able to provide you a way through copywriting, just like Tim, you had mentioned on this copywriting, that the same type of philosophy, that's one step, one way to do it, and in this coaching is another way to definitely help you onto this path. But there's something unique that I can provide you and tell you that for 17 years that I've been able to do. And so I tell you right now that you can be 400% better than what you are right now. And really much greater than that, but where does that 400% come from? And what I have done is I guarantee to measurably increase your results, your business results, by at least 400%, or your investment is returned in full. So said another way, if you pay me $100, you get back at least $400. Okay? Really, if you do the math, it's more than $500 because you got to take away the $100 he paid me. And so there is this hope, this understanding, this recognizing that you can identify and be who you have always wanted to be. Now, there's a few steps for us to step back and look at what's going on in the world and what's maybe prevented us from being everything that we wanted to have for all of our desires. That I had, let's see, Mike had mentioned that, gee, I'd really like to play, if you will, not work, but play at a job of doing magic. And what a great way on, that's a desire that he has. And so how can he go about doing that and having more of that? Well, there's a couple of points to consider. First of all, where we are regarding, and where you are regarding your performance. That our customers, whether they're audience of the magic show, whether they're of the window cleaning, our customers are requiring it faster, right? They want it faster, they want it better, and they want it cheaper. Those three things. And so how do you do that? Well, you do that through building better relationships, which I'm going to share with you today on how to build better relationships. Another phenomenon that is occurring is that most of us think there isn't enough. Most of us think that there isn't enough money, there isn't enough time, there isn't enough clients, there isn't enough whatever. And whatever you think about, you get. And so the reason why we've been told through the ages, ask and you shall receive, and you say, but where's my stuff? Okay, is that because when you were asking, you were thinking about the lack of it. And I'm here to share with you that there's plenty of money. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of clients. But we need to change our thinking about that, stop thinking about what we don't want, and start thinking about what we do want. Another factor that occurs is that most of us have all way too much stress. Stress creates a vacuum, and that vacuum decreases our results. It decreases the person that you are. Instead of being filled with vitality and like on the health, on being so healthy like that stress, no matter how much health I do, that it's going to continue to catch up with me. In fact, it's really the #1 killer in America. Because why is that? Heart disease is the #1 killer. And then what is caused by heart disease? Stress. And by the way, you know where stress is caused from? Our fear. And it's only our fear, and fear is an acronym. False evidence appearing real. Okay? So with that, I want to take you now and put you on this path and discover who you really are. And that way, you'll be able to relate more effectively with everyone that you're working with, that you're playing with, that you're living with, your loved ones, etc. So would you like to hear that? Okay. So what I'd like you to do, again, I'm a mental scientist, and one technique to really help things stick, because I can guarantee you within a couple days you're not going to remember basically a word I say unless you write it down. So I'd like you to write down the following. What I write down here, I'd like you to write down. And this is on the 5 steps to your success. So on top of the page, I'd like you to write down the 4 D period, I period, S period, C period, behavioral styles. These are also what the layman, if you will, most of us would say is personality. What kind of personality do I have, okay? The technical name, more accurate defined, is what our behavior style is. So the 4 steps, and so I want to make sure you're very clear on this. The 4 steps is within 30 seconds now, you are going to be able to, when you meet a person, each one of you that I met today, within 30 seconds, I identified what behavior style you were. And then I modified my behavior style so I could more effectively communicate with you. But you may say, well, where do you get the time? Well, I'm speaking at 100 words per minute. Your minds are going at least 400 words per minute. We can only think about one thing at a time, but we can go back and forth very quickly. So I'm thinking, as I'm hearing what you're saying to me, I'm thinking about what behavior style you are. So I want you to be looking at, there's 4 behavior styles, and how to identify those behavior styles. So that's 4 steps. And then the fifth step is, how do I modify my behavior style with whoever I'm talking to, one of the 4 behavior styles, how do I modify it to more effectively open up the shade of communication? Most of us have a shade that we either pull down, okay, when we don't like something, that if somebody said something unkind to you, you pull down that shade. Or you raise it up. Have you met somebody where you just clicked with them? You said, man, I just love that person. Why is that? You know, they are special. Well, that's mainly because they're a lot like you. And we love me, you know, we love you, and so that's, you know, we love that person. Okay, so the first behavior style, again, everything I write down, I'd like you to write down. The first one is the D, and the D is for, if you would put, put a plus in the middle of the page and put D.I.S.C, and that'll organize it better for you as far as where these, so we're going to put the D up here, the I here, the S here, and the C here, okay? And that's in the middle of the page, a nice big X, and we're going to do about 4 lines on every one of them. Everybody have that? Understand that? Okay, any questions up to this point? Okay. You enjoying what you're hearing so far? Okay, the D. The D is for driver / dominant. And this person, this driver dominant, they typically like to control. And if they can have an option, they'd rather just demand things like, go get this, go do that, not ask. Any of you know any D's? My coach, yeah. Okay, my coach, yeah. Now, you might have called it a different word, though, than you know, that's, so we won't go there, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Well, see, we've been told through the ages, do not judge, and here we are, we're judging people. You know, we thought, my coach boy, he's sometimes a da-da-da, and that the fact is that no, he's just a driver. And so when we recognize and start understanding these 4 different personality styles, that we'll start to understand how to really appreciate people for who they are and not judge people for what you don't like about them. Because when you're thinking you don't like them, you're drawing down their shade. And by having a high ray of shade, you're going to have more sales. You're going to double your income. You're going to have more clients. You're going to increase your business. You're going to have plenty of everything you want as you build these deep, meaningful relationships with this information. Okay. So, and it's helpful for you, for your mind, to think about, oh yeah, who is that person that's real tough and demanding and, you know, really rough? Do we think there's any D's in the room here? I know you, yes, yes, you're a D, yes, and you're a D? She's an old I, which means an I is an influence. She used to be real nice. Oh, la-da-da, trying to talk people in. Now she says, just go get this done. I'm sick of it. Yeah, and then you're living with the D there, you know, and boy, she's telling you. Yeah, and she told you how to introduce you about her, and which is a great one, you know, it's all good, you know, it's all like, wow, that's like magical, you know, that's magical, yeah. So, so they control and they demand. Now, every one of these behavior styles, there's some really good quality. Now, there's many good qualities, but I'm going to just share with you like the key quality that's really good about these drivers is that they're good at decision making. Now, if I had all D's in this room, you'd all be, and the D's right now are saying, yeah, that's right, I make decisions, good decisions, but I didn't say that. What I said is, you're good at decision making. You're going to make a pretty quick decision, okay? And D's make a fairly quick decision. And sometimes a quick decision is better than no decision, okay? And sometimes decisions need to be made fairly rapidly. So that's why, like, you're building your team, because I can share with you at every one of your businesses that you can start thinking. If you think about, oh, I need a team to do the things, I'm talented in what I do, and I'm going to have a team that does the other stuff that I don't like the paperwork or whatever, okay? And so think about on how you can use this on, selecting people, on how I would want to select people, whether it's someone you want to work with or the type of clients you want to be with. You know, that you may just not, they may rub you wrong, D's, and so it's not going to be a fun time. If it's not fun, don't do it. Just forget about it. Okay. Percent population, 18% of the population are drivers. So you're looking at about one out of every 5 prospects that come to you, okay, that they're a D. And now here's the critical point. So when that prospect comes walking up to you, you come walking up to her or him, that once you recognize within 30 seconds the behavior style, in this case a D, okay, how do I modify my behavior? And what I'm going to do is I am going to be efficient. So with Toy, I'm going to just share with, hey, Toy, this is what I want, you know, and she's going to tell me yes or no. So I have about, you know, a minute or whatever time I have to make my best case, because when she makes a decision, which is going to be quick, it's either yes or no. But if I ramble on with her and I say, oh, but Toy, you know, I have a nice suit on even, wouldn't you like to do? She's going like, her shade's going down. I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. So she's saying no while you're thinking you're doing such a great job persuading her, okay? And are you starting to see the magic in this? Talk about magic. This is magic with people that you can use right now when you leave here. And the quicker you start using it, more effective. You can use it on the phone with people. You can figure this out on the phone with them, that you can figure it out on email with it. Any ways of communication. Like if they're rambling on and on, I'll show you in a second who that is. But it's not the D. The D's just going to answer the email, yes, no, whatever, or just whatever the point is, and no fluff around it, okay? So any questions about the D? Okay. The I. The I is for influencer. And the I is very outgoing, and they do a lot of telling. They do a lot of telling. So with Cheryl, that she used to do a lot of telling and was all kind and wonderful. I know, you know, I'd like you to do this and do that. Well, she just gave up that I. That's why she said she gave up that I, that influencer. And instead, she's just right to it. You know, and because of that, you're happier because you have more time and people understand. You're more direct, right to the point. Yeah. So it doesn't mean all of us go and become Ds. What it means is whatever's right for me. I actually have the world's most statistically accurate and valid diagnostic tool that I'm going to be able to share with you and offer you today. And it actually will measure who you really are, so which means this, and it's in graph form, where you're going to be able to see who you really are, and then another graph that shows how you've modified your behavior style. And usually we've modified our behavior style to please other people. And this creates stress. That, in fact, Cheryl had stress by, she was trying to be an I, but see, her realness is, her left graph, if you will, on how she modified her behavior was, oh, hi, everybody, and trying to encourage them and lighten them up and get them to do everything. And, you know, she realized, I'm going to give this up. I've been taught to be that way, okay? Like I've been taught my fears. We weren't born with any fears. We've been taught our fears. And so for us to be able, so she said, you know what? I'm going to get back to who I am. And I'm going to love myself for the God-given behaviors that I've been given. And I'm going to be able to show you graphically who you are, what that is, and then how to be able to modify your behavior to be who you really are. And to get back to who you really are, because when you get back to who you really are, you will get back to your success and all your inheritance that's waiting for you. All the money, all the happiness, everything that you've wanted. You have an inheritance there, but it's a matter of allowing it in. And again, I'll help you down that path. Okay, back to the influencer. With this brief outline, anybody know any influencers? Think about who you know, okay? Gee, my spouse, or my kids, my clients. With IBM executives, I have them with their clients. They actually write down on the client form what behavior style the client is. So before they're calling on the client or the prospect, they look at that to readjust their thinking about who am I talking to? Because if I'm an I, who thinks they're an I here? Who likes to do a lot of talking? Yeah, do a lot of talking. And that. If we were all I's in the room, we'd never get to the agenda. We'd be having
a funny story.
There's an I. There's an I for you, and a funny I, too. Yeah, I's typically just want to have a good time and talk a lot. So they're very outgoing. They're telling, if you see an I come walking towards you, you're busy, and an I's coming to you, make a right as fast as you can. Okay, an influencer, they're outgoing, they do a lot of telling. What are they good at? They're good at influencing people. So I have a way with my diagnostic tools to actually measure people and their talents, all kinds of different things besides this. But we say, hey, what is the job? And then based on that job, we'll hire the person based on the statistics, the diagnostic and analysis of what we have. And with influencing people, that typically, what type of position would we hire for an I who's naturally good at influencing people? Sales, yeah. Now, it doesn't mean to you, because most of you are in sales, really all of us are, okay, but that don't be disappointed if you're not an I. It doesn't mean, it's just that I's have this natural ability. Boy, they like to influence. They can also talk themselves into a sale and out of a sale because of their too much talking, and I'm sure the I's have experienced that once in a while where that happens to you. Okay, so they're very good at influencing people. 28% of the population are this way. And how do I be with an I? I want to be stimulating. And so what does that mean? Jason, is it that...
I think you want to engage the I and give them a reason to tell stories.
Yeah. And so with Jason, okay, who's an I, that I want to go, hey, Jason, how are you doing? I go, hey, Jason, how's it going? And right away, boy, his shade goes up. He's all ready to go and start telling me stuff. I've had I's. I remember I was at a party one time, and the guy came up to me. I'd never met him before, and I just said, hi, my name's Hank, and his name's Joe, and he starts talking. And I'm saying to myself, oh, this is an I, and he likes this, and I know he loves me because I'm just letting him, talk. And then he goes, hey, I got to go, but listen, I just love you, man. I think you're just great. And I hadn't said anything, but my name's Hank, But I open up that shade because I's enjoy that. And again, I'm exaggerating some of these personality styles so you could get a better feel for, what are these different four behavior styles? Most of us are real high one behavior style, pretty high another, and then two not very high at all. So pretty much you're probably a combination of two with one very strong, though, stronger than most. Okay, any questions about the I? All right, now we're going to go to the S. And the S is for steady. And for the steady, it's don't rock the boat. Everything's just fine right now. We really don't have to make any decisions. We can kind of keep things the way that they are. And S will be your most difficult prospect to close. Because everything's fine. We don't need to change. We don't need to buy anything. Okay? We don't need that cleaning service. I use Windex and I'm happy with it. Yeah, everything's good. And have you noticed how maybe I've changed? Have I changed in my style right now? I've slowed it down. I've toned it down. Because that's how S's like it. S's like it that way. And they're not going to make a quick decision. Maybe you would like all D's to be your prospects because they're going to make a quick decision. But that's not how the world works. So with S's, to convince them, consider it like going from A to B, so you want them to buy something. With a D, it's just, hey, one call, and they'll either say yes or no. With an S, I got to meet with them the first time and say, why don't we just test a little of this? And your people, they're very good with people. They're very sensitive, good team players and everything. All of these, every behavior style is just unbelievable, okay? It's just wonderful and beautiful. You cannot judge these. You need to honor them and recognize the power of them and how all four are required in order to make the world go round. So the study is don't rock the boat. They're very about even pace. Everything's cool the way it is. And we better like studies. Okay, and why is that? Anybody want to take a guess at how many? 40% of the population are studies. Why do we need so many? Why did God deliver so many S's, so many studies? These goldarn IDs, D.I.S, they'd rock the boat in a heartbeat. They'd make quick decisions, be talking about it, having fun and everything. Before they know it, whoa, there goes the business. So S's are very good for us. They provide that balance that we need, the yin and the yang, if you will, that we need. And so does anybody know any S's? Accountants, yes, typically, and they're typically introverted. And I'm going to show you another behavior style that's that is more so accountants, but a lot of accountants are S's. And the reason why you're thinking that is because, hey, they are introverted, and that some of them like the numbers. But we will get to that other one. But yeah, accountants is good. That any other S's? Can you do you know in your personal lives? You know, like your spouse. My mom, yeah, my mom. You know, God darn it, that Malcolm, would you not go out and do that coaching thing? Why don't you just get a regular job? Yeah. If we would do and honor other people's opinion, and if we would do what they told us to do, we'd be pretty unhappy. And a lot of us are pretty unhappy because we did listen to what most of them told us. Nobody knows better for you than you. And whatever feels good, and you say, well, what's the gauge? How do I know? If it feels good. You feel good, go do it. And all the money and happiness and joy and everything that you desire will be there for you. Okay, at the palm of your hand. All right. With a study, how do I need to be? And this is tough for, especially like the D's to do. I need to be agreeable. Agreeable. So what does that mean? So when the study says, oh no, my health is just fine at 320 pounds, she's telling you this, okay? And you go, well, what do you mean? That can't be. And what you're doing is you're taking that and closing that shade of communication. You have to be agreeable. Oh, I understand. And that, you know, she is better. She's at 350, you know, and she's 320 or whatever, okay? But you understand that, wow, it's all about that. I need to be agreeable. And when I'm agreeable, and so when you start being agreeable, that then raises that shade. You say, oh, yes. So a little bit more definition behind be agreeable. Don't say no. You immediately have that shade drop. So think about your spouses, too, for some of you. If you have an S and then you say no right away, and especially if you're a D in there, you're butting heads. In fact, that's why I have the opposites here on the D and the S. They butt heads. D says, hurry up, let's get everything going. And the S says, hold on, we don't need to do anything. Everything's just fine, okay? Boom, boom, boom. So don't say no and don't say but. Oh, that's a great idea, but here's what we need to do. Well, that but just said the great idea thing. You didn't mean that at all. You just erased that, and this is what you want to do, and I'm closing my shade. And it's a subconscious shade that most people don't even know. They're just saying to themselves, I don't like this person. You know, it just doesn't feel right. And you're closing their shade, so you want to think about how do I open that shade in order to open up that relationship and in order to influence them the way that I desire. So what do? I say, and. Aw. And that's a wonderful idea. And have you considered this? And they feel all happy and warm and fuzzy and open up their shade, and that way you start connecting with people. Start building those deep and meaningful and powerful relationships. It's all about the relationships. Okay, any questions about the S? Risk reduction. We don't like risk. Yep, we don't like risk. Anything risky, we don't want any part to do with it. You bet. Very good. Thank you. You bet. Okay, and then finally, the last one is conscientious, or another way, compliant. So what does that mean? That these people are all about rules and regulations. So a high C says rules are made to be followed. A medium C says rules are nice guidelines. A real low C says rules are made to be broken. And probably my D over there, Toy, sometimes does that. Again, it's so fun when you understand this stuff. Yeah. But you need each other, see, because you're holding down the fort. She's driving the fort, okay? She's driving the bus, and you're making sure we got enough gas, the tires are okay, and everything. Because otherwise, she just keep on going, going, going. Be stuck out of nowhere. All of a sudden, look around and say, where are we? Yeah. So rules and regulations. They're also about, and this takes us back, Cheryl, to, did I see a hand up? Yes. Yes, Brad.
I visited a college for the weekend in Tennessee.
Yeah.
They said they had one employee that works with their sports program. There's a book that the NCAA puts out, and he reads and memorizes that book, and he knows all the rules that the NCAA has. And he has to make sure they're following everything.
He's their C. He's their C. Yeah, yeah. Because the next thing, excellent, is, and Cheryl, back to your point, was facts and data. They love it, okay? Now, for those of you that aren't a high C, you're saying, like, I hate data. I don't understand who would like data, but there are people, these Cs. Now, there are not many of them. There's 14% of the population like them. But as you grow your business, or as you're looking at talking to your prospect, if they're a C, you better make sure the rules and regulations. Don't guarantee measurable results, and then, you know, say, well, they're going to catch you on that measurable results, and they're going to hold your feet to it, because they're all about the rules and the regulations, and you just made up your rules and regulations of your business or whatever, and that you better abide by them. In your business with an assistant, and as your businesses grow, that you want to make sure you have really all four of these behavior stuff. Is this C? We'll keep you out of jail. Or something like that. So how do I beat? So now only 14%, but hey, if it's a buyer, I'm sitting in front of a prospect that can get ready to buy, and how do I need to be with them? I need to be accurate. And so what does that mean? Well, we heard that you guys, Costco charges 17-point-something%. Only, no more than 14%, okay? And that's it, which is a cool deal, by the way. Sam's makes way more money and don't have nearly as quality products, and nothing gets Sam's, but that's just the truth about Costco. They're saying right. But yeah, if she would have said 17, and then, you know, I look up on the website, well, hey, I'm not going to Costco. You didn't tell me the truth. And C's will hold you to this, okay? So you want to make sure that you're accurate. The I's and the C's, they typically don't get along very well, because the I's say, hey, we can do everything faster, quicker than anybody else, and the C says, quit all the BS and just get down to the facts. Okay? So, just a couple more things. Any questions about the C? Do you know any C's? That accountant really shines bright now. Typically, they're introverted accountants, and so the CS. But the funny little duddy accountant that's sitting in the back room is sometimes making all the decisions for corporations. So while you're walking by thinking, oh, I'll go influence a bunch of people, then you just walk by the guy bringing donuts to whoever, and you forgot to bring donuts to the guy that's making all the decisions. Yeah, it's big time. They're influencers to the economic decision makers. Okay? So just to wrap that up, Some commonalities, because remember, your objective is within 30 seconds identify what behavior style and then modify my behavior style in order to effectively communicate and open up that shade of communication, okay? And so this will help you now to recognize those behavior styles. The D and the I, put a line there, and they're typically extroverted. The C and the S, they are typically introverted. Bob Newhart from years ago was actually an accountant and then went in and was a comedian, you know? And yeah, but he was an accountant, so which was kind of rare, but I don't think he was in the right place. He really wanted to be here, and he wasn't who he wanted. Okay, the I and the S are very concerned with relationships. So you'll be hearing them say things like, oh, you know, what about the rest of the team? And things like that, that they're, you know, thinking about the relationships where the DC is just thinking about the tasks. So I had an executive from IBM that I was working with. And when I completed this, she started to cry. And I said, listen, this stuff is good, but it's not that good. And she said, no. It's that I realize that I am an IS, and I'm all about relationships. And for 13 years, I've been trying to change my husband to be warmer and softer. But she now recognizes he's a DC. He's only concerned with tasks. So she said, Dr. Hank, why'd I marry this guy? And I said, easy. Opposites attract. It's just a little tough when you're living with that opposite. Boy, it sure looks nice for the dates. Then living with a holy mackerel. So I said, give me an example of this. You know, help me understand this more. She goes, well, like when we go on vacation. Then I'm saying, remember relationships, I'm saying to my hubby, oh, I want to, should we bring the kids' friends along? Should we bring the in-laws? And he's like, I don't give a hoot about that. When do we leave? Where are we going? And when do we get back? She's like, oh my God, you know. So she tried to make him warm and fuzzy, and he'll never be warm and fuzzy. He's just a DC. But now that she recognizes that, she can appreciate him and honor him for who he is, and that in fact they have grown even stronger now. Don't try to change anybody, okay? You just worry about yourself. You got enough challenges. Okay, with that. So any questions about this? Good stuff? Yeah, and it's like magic. When you start using it, it's like magic. You will see, but you have to keep it in your mind. You have to be thinking about when you meet the person. Don't be thinking, oh, do I have my lipstick on? Or, you know, how's my hair? You know, like when you have a bad hair day, nobody knows but you. Okay, so your next step, and to get on this path of discovering who you really are, is that I have available to you today a diagnostic tool that measures personality styles. This is a sample of it. Anthony Obey, anybody know Anthony? Yes, okay, yes.
Copywriter that I use.
Well, there you go. That's who I use too. He's the best, isn't he? Here's Anthony Obey. It's changed his life, and you can talk to him about that. This is over 20 pages of detailed information of who you are. Let me just share with you a couple things on what it does. It goes into detail about, and specifically in sales. So for those of you, I can do other ones, but the ones that I'm offering today are sales. But it's 2 pages on sales characteristics on Anthony to help him understand his strengths. We all have strengths, and if you will, not strengths, okay? And that you need to leverage your strengths. You can work all the rest of your life on the things that you're not strong on and not be very good at it. Just leverage your strengths, and this will give you a complete detail of that. It'll identify what value you are to the organization, your own company. It'll talk about how to communicate with you, how not to communicate to you. That's great to use with people you work with, people you live with, etc. There's selling tips. It'll actually give you selling tips based on your different behavior style on what selling tips that you will perform most effectively with. The ideal environment you have, so that can include your office that you have at home or whatever, on that you'll want to make some changes then and realize that, hey, because what you want to do, the goal is to feel good. You do everything to feel good, and I don't know if you understand that or not, but the power of that statement is we really just do it for the feeling, and this will help you feel good on having an environment that you like. Perceptions, this is a fun one. This is how you perceive yourself. So for Anthony, he's pioneering and competitive. Here's others' perception when he's under a little pressure: demanding, egotistical. And then under extreme pressure, he's abrasive, controlling, and opinionated. He said, I don't believe this stuff down here, but I really like the stuff up here. But it'll help you to understand who you are so you can tap into that inner greatness that you are, have always been. And then it goes through the 4 different behavior styles and highlights, giving you some more adjectives on just exactly who you are and to help you understand that. And then the coolest of all, it's just pages and pages of information, but it will actually give you and show you a graph on D.I.S.C. is here, and you can see he is a D.C., okay? And that how does he modify his behavior? That he doesn't have too much stress, but I can share with you that I'll show you on how you can you subtract the numbers here, and if the difference is 10 points or more, this is causing stress for you, which I can then show you how to reduce your stress just based on your behaviors, on the way you're trying to modify, you're trying to be somebody who you are. So it'll increase your stress, increase your success, decrease your stress, and then finally the wheel. And so that'll show you on the different areas and help you understand about other people, who you are, how you modify your behavior, and give you that type of detail. So does that look interesting to you? Let me show you what we have for you today. That normally, this is the top performer personality assessment. And this is what I use for my top performers for the last 17 years. However, it's been updated in the last year. This is the world's most statistically accurate and valid diagnostic tool. That normally I retail the investment for you is $399. Because of Mike Crow and our agreement that we have with him, that it's going to be reduced down to $149. I want this out. My objective is to get this out to more people and not just my high-paying, typically corporate America clients, and so it's available for you today. Okay, and so let me just share with you on how this works. So if you're interested in having this, and significantly it's $250 or something less than what normally your investment would be, that just mark the yes there, that it will include this entire behavioral profile, this personality assessment, top performance personality assessment. You'll actually get a success action plan, an action plan on how to implement this in order for you to achieve whatever objective you want. So it could be more sales, it could be more clients, more referrals, whatever that is business-wise, or also most of my clients use this personally. Like, for example, they give immediately this to their spouse as long as they're not a D, because then the D says, see, I told you so, this is how you are. And so you got to kind of watch on who you're sharing it with, but usually it works out well with your spouse. You'll also have access to video training on all of this to keep this fresh for you to understand on how to be able to identify the behavior of someone else and then to modify your behavior. And then finally, you'll have access to our monthly coaching program. And so with that if you are interested in that, if you would just complete that and then turn that into me with your name and address and credit card number and signature, and that's how you can have this available to you now. Brad.
Saying that they can scratch through this and change the price to something else that's...
Yes. So thank you. For the $399, they can cross that out and do $149.
Oh, okay.
So it's $149. So that's what we normally offer it for, and with Mike Crow's groups, that we're offering it for $149. So what is that, $250 difference? Something like that. Yes. Okay. Any questions, comments about that? Yes. Brett.
Tell them more about the monthly coaching program. Is there a newsletter, or what is that?
Yeah, the monthly coaching program is actually, it's live with me once a month. And then it's also a monthly coaching letter that's included. There's encouragement from Dr. Hank that you'll get every week that will just help you to start flowing more with life and to just realize the true higher meaning to life and put you in a state where you're in the stream of all the goodness that is already yours. You just need to recognize it. You also will be given a CD, a cassette on the Top Performers a success program that I developed 17 years ago and have perfected it that corporations have paid up to $25,000 for one person to go through, and it's available to you with that monthly coaching. Yes. Other questions? Yes.
Do you also coach about emotional intelligence?
Yes, EQ, yes. And in fact, I have a diagnostic tool to measure your emotional intelligence. And part of our emotions are more powerful than anything we have, and most people don't understand that. It's our sixth sense. But our emotions, the EQ is actually part of the Top Performer Success Formula. That EQ, because it is so critical to understand and get a handle on that. God, if you will, doesn't understand English or Spanish or any other language. God understands your emotions, your feelings that you're sending out. And so those feelings, depending on what your thought is, so your thought creates that emotion. So yeah, we have the thoroughness. If you want to know about EQ, that I'm Mr. EQ. Yes. Other questions? I just wanted to leave you with this one quote. And the quote is, to know others is to be learned. Okay, you learn. To know yourself is to be wise. And so if you sign up for this, that you will not only be learned, but you'll also be wise. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm most grateful.